Hi guys, this is Alison from AllyKatkreations. How are you? I've been busy. The actual purpose of this channel was not only to do readings and to give my spiritual insights, but to eventually grow my artwork. Because I have up back there on the wall my diploma. I have a bachelor's degree. It might not be a master's, but I don't think you really need a degree in art. I just got one because my parents made me go to college. And then I got sick anyway. So, but I'm looking into 3 to 4 different types of stores that I could start selling some stuff on. I'm still investigating. I'm going to wait until Mercury retrograde kind of ends. And I want to take pictures of everything. So it's going to be a little bit, but you guys get to preview some of the goodies. And I'm still working on different, because there's like gaps and I don't like gaps, but there's a lot of material in there. I have to fix that bottom. But these are like ring holders. There's lots of copper in there and grounding stones in that one. Same with this. This is a ring holder. I'm working with flowers currently right now as well. We'll see how that goes. And those are in bigger ones. I used my chainsaw to get some wood. So I'm going to incorporate a lot of that. I might be making coasters. I have to see. I'm doing a lot of experimentation right now. Figuring it out. Okay, I do a lot of stuff with installation foam and then ley lines and frequency lines. And my paintings, because I gave all my oil paints away and acrylic paints. So that's going to be an arduous having to buy all of that stuff again. And I have other priorities right now. House fixing up and a couple of other things. So I'm using what's at my disposal. Kind of like my shirt. Maybe. But I have a bunch of these different colors. Yes, I work in color. A lot of people don't think I do. I have my artwork is very colorful, being that I'm so gothic. So yeah, I'm making these again. I'm playing with different epoxy combos. Yeah. Lots of silver. Yeah, so I'm making a bunch of these again. I have stuff from a year and a half ago, hair clips and stuff like that I still have. I'm making keychains. I don't know if they're going to come out okay. Everything that I do that's thin, I don't do the stupid light that you have to put on. I don't use that UV resin. I don't use that. I use actual resin. Again, I'm just using what I have at my disposal. So it is what it is. I can't please everybody, but I'm back at it. I got really good responses from people who really like the pyramids and the different gems that I put in there and the different materials. So we'll see what happens. The Sacred Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. fundamentals of Qabbalistic Cosmogony. And I did make a boo-boo. Always do. Kabbalah. Kabbalah. So that was from the last reading. If you picked up on that, I do apologize. Again, dyslexia, things flip in my freaking brain, and it ain't easy. And I'm also, this weather has been crazy here. It like stormed again this morning, and it looks like it's gonna rain again tomorrow. Like, which is fine, we need the rain, but it makes me hurt. And it's like not hot and it's cold, so like my body has to adjust. So there's some pain here. I'm working through it. So I'll be shifting around. I'm sorry, I know that could bother some people. I just want to give you a heads up on that. I don't want my desk up. Sound like a bratty 5-year-old, don't I? Helicopter. The Kabbalistics conceive of the supreme deity as an incomprehensible principle to be discovered only through the process of eliminating in order all its cognizable attributes. That which remains when every knowable thing has been removed is Ein Sof, the eternal state of being. Although indefinable, the absolute permeates all space. Abstract to the degree of inconceivability, Ein Sof is the unconditioned state of all things. Substance, essence, and intelligence are manifested out of the inscrutability of Ein Sof. But the absolute itself, without substance, essence, or intelligence, Ein Sof may be likened to the great field of rich earth out of which rises a myriad of planets, each different in color, formation, and fragrance, yet each with its roots in the same dark loom, which, however, is unlike any of the forms nurtured by it. The plants are universes, gods, and men, all nourished by Ein Sof, and all with their source in one definitionless essence, all with their spirits, souls, and bodies fashioned from this essence and doomed, like the plant, to return to the black ground, Ein Sof, the only immortal, whence they came. I actually have oracle cards with Ein Sof. It's like nothingness. Ein Sof was referred to by the Kabbalists as the most ancient of the ancients. It was always considered as sexless. Its symbol was a closed eye. Well, it may be true said of Ein Sof that to define it is to defile it. The rabbis postulated certain theories regarding the manner in which Ein Sof projected creations out of itself, and they also assigned to this absolute not being certain symbols as being descriptive, in part at least, of its powers. The nature of Ein Sof, thus symbolized by a circle, itself emblematic of eternity. The hypothetical circle encloses a dimensionless area of incomprehensible life, and circular boundary of this life is abstract and measureless infinity. According to the concept, God is not only a creator, a center, but also area. Centralization is the first step towards limitation. Therefore, centers which form in the substance of Ein Sof are finite because they are predestined to dissolution back into the cause of themselves. while Aeon Soph itself is infinite because it is the ultimate condition of all things. The circular shape given to Aeon Soph signifies the space is hypothetical. Sorry, guys, hang on. The space is hypothetically enclosed within a great crystal-like globe, outside of which there is nothing, not even a vacuum. Within this globe, symbolic of Aeon Soph, creation and dissolution take place. Every element and principle that will ever be used in the eternities of cosmic birth, growth, and decay is within the transparent substance of this intangible sphere. It is the cosmic egg, which is not broken till the great day be with us, which is the end of the cycle of necessity, when all things return to their ultimate cause. In the process of creation, the diffuse life of Aeon Soph retires from the circumference to the center of the circle and establishes a point, which is the first manifesting one, the primitive limitation of all pervading circle. When the divine essence thus retires from the circular boundary to the center, it leaves behind the abyss, or as the Qabbalists term it, the great pervasion. Thus, in Aeon Soph is established a twofold condition where previously had existed but one. The first condition is a central point, the primitive objective radiance of the eternal subjective life. About this radiance is darkness caused by the deprivation of the life which is drawn to the center to create the first point or universal germ. The universal Aeon Soph therefore no longer shines through the space, but rather upon space from an established first point. Isaac Meyer describes this process as follows, quote, "The Aeon Soph at first was filling all and then made an absolute concentration into itself, which produced the abyss, deep, or space, the Avir, Kadmon, or primitive air, and the Azov, but this is not considered in the Kabbalah as a perfect void or vacuum, a perfectly empty space, but is thought of as the waters or crystalline chaotic sea, in which was a certain degree of light inferior to that by which all the created worlds and hierarchies were made. In the secret teaching of the Kabbalah, it is taught that man's body is enveloped in an ovoid of bubble-like iridescence, which is called the auric egg. This is the causal sphere of man. It bears the same relationship to man's physical body that the globe of Aeon Soph bears to its created universes. In fact, this auric egg is the Aeon Soph sphere of entity called man. In reality, therefore, the supreme consciousness of man is in this aura, which extends in all directions and completely encircles his lower bodies. As the consciousness in the cosmic egg is withdrawn into a central point, which is then called God, the Supreme One, so the consciousness in the auric egg of man is concentrated, thereby causing the establishment of a point of consciousness called the ego. As the universes in nature are formed from powers latent in the cosmic egg, so everything used by man in all his incarnations throughout the kingdoms of nature is drawn from the latent powers within his auric egg. Man never passes from this egg. It remains even after death. His births, deaths, and rebirths all take place within it, and it cannot be broken until the lesser day be with us, when mankind, like the universe, is liberated from the wheel of necessity. Interesting. The Qabbalistic system of worlds. On the accompanying circular chart, the concentric rings represent diagrammatically the 40 rates of vibration called by the Qabbalistic spheres, which emanate from Aeon Soph. The circle X, it's very hard to see in the first place. You need a magnifying glass to see anything on this thing. 1 is the outer boundary of space. It circumscribes the area of An Sof. The nature of An Sof itself is divided into 3 parts, represented by the space respectively between x1, x2, x3, and A1. Thus, you really do. Like there's like things in here that's what they're talking about. X1 to X2, Ain, A-I-N, the vacuum of pure spirit. X2 to X3, Ain Sof, the limitless and boundless. X3 to A1, Aeon Sof Ayer, the limitless light. It should be borne in mind that in the beginning of the supreme substance, Ain alone permeated the area of circle. The inner rings had not yet come into manifestation. As the divine essence consecrated itself, the rings X2 and X3 became apprehensible, for Ain Sof is a limitation of Ain, and Ain Sof Ar, or light, is a still greater limitation. Thus, the nature of the Supreme One is considered to be threefold, and from this threefold nature, the powers and elements of creation were reflected into the abyss, left by the motion of Aeon Sof, towards the center of itself. The continual motion of Aeon Sof towards the center of itself resulted in the establishment of the dot in the circle. The dot was called God as being the supreme individualization of the universal essence. Concerning this, says the Zohar. Pause 2 seconds. The Curtis books, The Keys of Destiny, that really goes in depth of explaining the circle and the dot. They do a really fantastic job. Just go and find that in my tabs if you're interested. Quote, when the concealed wished to reveal himself, he first made a single point. The infinite was entirely unknown and diffused no light before the luminous point violently broke through into vision, end quote. The name of this point is I am, called by the Hebrews. Ooh. Hey, hey, ha. Whatever. The Kabbalists gave many names to this dot. On the subject, Christian D. Ginsburg writes, in substance, the dot is called the first crown because it occupies the highest position. It is called the aged because it is the first emanation. It is called the primordial or smooth point. It is called the white head, the long face, macrophosphorus, and the inscrutable height because it controls and governs all other emanations. When the white shining point had appeared, it was called Kether, which means the crown, and out of its radiated 9 great globes, which arranged themselves in form of a tree. These 9 together were the first crown constitution, the first system of Sipora. These 10 were the first limitation of 10 abstract points within the nature of Aeon Sof itself. The power of Aeon Sof did not descend into these globes, but rather was reflected upon them as the light of the sun is reflected upon the earth and the planets. These 10 globes were called the shining sapphires, and it is believed by many rabbis that the word sapphire is the basis of the word Sifra, the singular of Sephiroth, the great area which had been private by the withdrawal of Aeon Sof into the center point. Kether was now filled by 4 concentric globes called worlds or spheres, and the light of the 10 Sephiroth was reflected down through each of these in turn. This resulted in establishment of 4 symbolic trees. each bearing the reflections of the 10 Sitharotic globes. The 40 spheres of creation out of Ein Sof are divided into 4 great world chains as follows. A1 to A10, Atsiluth, something of that nature, the boundless world of divine names. B1 to B10, Bria, the angelic world of creation. C1 to C10, Yitzraya, the hierarchical world of formations. D1 to D10, Asiya, the element world of substance. Each of these worlds has 10 powers, 10 spheres, a parent globe, and 9 others which come out of its emanations, each globe born out of the one preceding. One on the plane of Atzuluth, A1 to A10, the highest and most divine of all the created worlds, the unmanifested Ein Sof established. His first point or dot in the divine sea, the 3 spheres of X. This dot, A1, contains all creation within it. But in this first divine uncontaminated state, the dot or first manifested God was not considered as a personality by the Qabbalistics, but rather as a divine establishment or foundation. It was called the first crown, and from it issued the other circles of the Atzulithic world. A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, and A10. In these 3 lower worlds, these circles are intelligences, planets, and elements. But in this first divine world, they are called the rings of the sacred names. The first 10 great circles are globes of light, which were manifested out of Ein Sof, and the 10 names of God assigned to them by the Kabbalistics are as follows. From Ein Sof came A1, the first crown, and the name of the first power of God was Ehyeh, something like that, Ehyeh, which means I am, that I am. From A1 came A2, the first wisdom, and the name of the second power of God was Jehovah, which means essence of being. From A2 came A3, the first understanding, and the name of the third power of God was Jehovah Elohim, which means God of gods. A3 came A4, the first mercy, and the name of the fourth power of God was El, which means God, the creator. From A4 came A5, the first severity, and the name of the fifth power of God was Elohim Gebar, which means God the potent. From A5 came A6, the first beauty, and the name of the sixth power of God was Eloho Vadath, which means God the strong. From A6 to A7, the first victory, and the name of the seventh power of God was Jehovah Tazaboeth. I'm gonna get these names, damn it, because it's in my brain. I've read a lot about this stuff, which means God of hosts. From A7 came A8, the first glory, and the name of the eighth power, and God was Elohim Tazbeoth, which means Lord God of hosts. From A8 came A9, the first foundation, and the name of the ninth power of God was Shaddai El Shai, which means omnipotent. From A9 came A10, the first kingdom, and the name 10th power of God was Adonai Melech, which means God. From A10 came B1, the second crown, and the word Bria was established. And just to note, if you are of the Jewish faith and you, I don't know, like going and listening to my family speak prayers, it's like Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech Halam, Melech, Hebrew. And no, I only know this from remembering because it was shoved down my throat all my life. Well, not that long, thankfully. But yeah, there's a lot of that in the Hebrew prayers. The 10 emanations from A1 to A10 inclusive are called the foundations of all creations. The Kabbalists designed them the 10 roots of the tree of life. They are arranged in the form of a great human figure called Adam Kadmon is a Q Quadmon. The man made from the fire, mist, red dirt. The prototypical universal man. In the Atzulithic world, the powers of God are most purely manifested. These 10 pure and perfect radiations do not descend into the lower worlds and take upon themselves forms, but are reflected upon the substance of the inferior spheres. From the first or Atzulithic world, they are reflected into the second, the Briatic world, as the reflection always lacks some of the brilliancy of the original image. So the Briatic world, the 10 radiations lose part of their infinite power. A reflection is always like the thing reflected, but smaller and fainter. In the second world, B210, the order of the sphere is the same as in the Atholic world, but the 10 circles of light are less brilliant and more tangible, and are here referred to as the great spirit, 10 great spirits, divine creatures who assist in the establishment of order and intelligence in the universe. As already noted, B1 is born out of A10 and is included within all the spheres superior to itself. Out of B1 are taken 9 globes: B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, B8, B9, B10, which constitute the world of Bria. These 10 subdivisions, however, are really the 10 Azaritic powers reflected into the substance of the Briatic world. B1 is the ruler of the world, for it contains all the other rings of its own world and also the rings of the third and fourth worlds, C and D. In the world of Bria, the 10 spheres of light are called the archangels of Bria. Their order and powers are as follows. I'm curious if that's the Brennaway. Woo! So they might not be completely all that off. From A10 came B1. The second crown is called, oh, they are wrong, Metatron, the angel of the presence. If you read Ashiana Dean, you know Metatron, like you get Metatronic coding, you get corrupted. Metatron ain't good. Again, Dorian Virtue talks about Metatron, and she used to do all her cards, a lot of them based on him. And again, you believe and take what you want. It's just a very interesting combination of things. From B1 came B2, the second wisdom. It is called Raziel, the herald of deity, who revealed the mysteries of the Kabbalah to Adam. From B2 came B3, the second understanding. It is called the Bekel. I never get this one right. The contemplation of God. From B3 came B4, the second mercy. It is called Tazekel. Very similar to the first one, the justice of God. From B4 to B5, the second servet. Wow, now that I can't pronounce things out like easy words, I'm starting to like not pronounce. Severity, it's called Samael, the severity of God. From B5 came B6, the second beauty. It's called Michael, like unto God. From B6 and B7, the second victory. It is called Haniel, the grace of God. From B7 came B8, the second glory. It is called Raphael, the divine physician. From B8 came B9, the second foundation. It is called Gabriel, the man God. From B9 came B10, the second kingdom. It is called Sandalphon, the Messas. From B10 came C1, the third crown. The world of Yetzirah was established. The 10 angelics of Bria were conceived to be 10 great spiritual beings whose duty it is to manifest the 10 powers of the great name of God existing in the Atzarilic world. So you guys know what I'm talking about because I said the word properly before, which surrounds and interpenetrates the entire world of creation. All things manifesting in the lower worlds exist first in the intangible rings of the upper spheres, so that creation is, in truth, the process of making tangible the intangible by extending the intangible into various vibratory states. The 10 globes of Briatic power, while themselves reflections, are mirrored downward into the third or the Yitzhariatic world. We're still more limited in their expression. They become the spiritual and invisible zodiac, which is behind the visible band of constellations. In this third world, the 10 globes of the original Azoluthic world are greatly limited and dimmed, but they are still infinitely powerful in comparison with the state of the substance in which man dwells. In the third world, C1 to C10, the globes become hierarchies of celestial creatures called the choirs of Yitzhariah. Here again are all included with the ring C1, the power which controls the Yitzharitic world, and which includes it within itself that controls the entire world D. The order of the globes and the names of the hierarchies composing them are as follows. From B10 come C1, the third crown. The hierarchy is the cherubim. Chadiah HaKadosh, the holy animals. From C1 came C2, the third wisdom. The hierarchy is the cherubim. Oraphim, the wheels. From C2 came C3, the third understanding. The hierarchy of thrones. Aralim, the mighty ones. From C3 came C4, the third mercy. The hierarchy is the dominations. Chesmelum, the brilliant ones. From C4 came C5, the third severity. The hierarchy is the powers. Seraphim, the flaming serpents. From C5 came C6, the third beauty. The hierarchy is the virtues. Melachim, the kings. From C6 came C7, the third victory. The hierarchy is the principalities. Elohim, the gods. From C7 came C8, the third glory. The hierarchy is the archangels. Ben Elohim, the sons of God. From C8 came C9, the third foundation. The hierarchy is the angels, cherubim, the seat of the sons. From C9 came C10, the third kingdom. The hierarchy is humanity, the Isham, the souls of just men. From C10 came D1, the fourth crown, and the world of Asiya was established. From the Yitzhariatic world, the light of the 10 spheres is reflected into the world of Asiya. The lowest of the four, the 10 globes of the original Atzulithic world, here taken upon themselves form of physical matter, and the sidereal system is the result. The world of Asiya, or the elemental world of substance, is the one into which humanity descended at the time of Adam's fall. The Garden of Eden is the 3 upper worlds, and for his sins, man were forced into the sphere of substance and assumed coats of skin, bodies, All of the spiritual forces of the upper worlds, A, B, C, were then they strike against the elements of the lower world, D, are distorted and perverted, resulting in the creation of hierarchies of demons to correspond with the good spirits in each of the light higher worlds. In all the ancient mysteries, matter was regarded as the source of all evil and spirit, the source of all good, for matter inhabits and limits, often so clogging the inner perceptions that man is unable to recognize his own divine potentialities. Since matter thus prevents humanity from claiming its birthright, it is called the adversary, the power of evil. The fourth world, D, is the world of solar systems, comprising not only of the one of which the Earth is part of, but all the solar systems in the universe. Opinions differ as to the arrangement of the globes of the last world, D1 to D10 inclusive. The rule of the fourth world is D1, called by some the fiery heaven, by others the premium mobile, or the first motion. From this whirling fire emanations the material starry zodiac. D2 is contradistinction to the invisible spiritual zodiac of the Yitzhak world. From the zodiac, D2 are differentiated the spheres of the planets in concentrate order. The 10 spheres of the world of Isaiah are as follows. From C10 came D1, the fourth crown, Rashith Ha Galagalulim, the primum mobile, the fiery mist, which is the beginning of the material universe. Okay, so that sounds like very Norse, like Ginniganap, Galum. Very interesting. From D1 came D2, the fourth wisdom, Masloth, the zodiac, the firmament of the fixed stars. From D2 came D3, the fourth understanding, Shabbath, I. Something like that, the sphere of Saturn. From D3 came D4, the fourth mercy, Tezeg, the sphere of Jupiter. From D4 came D5, the fourth severity, Madam, the sphere of Mars. From D5 came D6, the fourth beauty, Shemesh, the sphere of Sun. From D6 came D7, the fourth victory, Noga, the sphere of Venus. From D7 came D8, the fourth glory, Kokab, the sphere of Mercury. From D8 came D9, the fourth foundation, Levana, the sphere of the moon. From D9 came D10, the fourth kingdom, Cholam Yozodath, the sphere of the fourth elements. By inserting a sphere, which he calls the Empyrean, before the mobile, Kircher moves each of the other spheres down one, resulting in the elimination of the sphere of the elements, making D10 the sphere of the moon. Sorry, guys. In the world of Asiya are to be found demons and tempters. These are likewise reflections of the 10 great globes of At-Zuluth. But because of the distortion of images resulting from the base substances of the world of Asiya, upon which they are reflected, they become evil creatures called shells by the Qabbalists. There are 10 hierarchies of these demons correlate with the 10 hierarchies of good spirits composing the Yitzhak world. There are also 10 archdemons corresponding to the 10 archangels of Bria. The black magicians use these inverted spirits in their efforts to obtain their nefarious ends, but in time the demon destroys those who bind themselves to it. The 10 orders of demons and the 10 archdemons of the world of Asiya are as follows. Hang on. How to get some sage going just in case. Just in case. D1, the evil crown, the hierarchy is called Thamuel. The doubles of God, the two-headed, the archdemons are Satan and Moloch. From D1 came D2, the evil wisdom, the hierarchy is called Cheadel. Those who obstruct, the archdemon is Adam Balal. From D2 came D3, the evil understanding, the hierarchy is called Sethariel, the concealment of God, the archdemon is Luciferge. From D3 came D4, the evil mercy, the hierarchy is called Gamshiath, the distributor of things, the archdemon is Astaroth. From D4 came D5, the evil severity, the hierarchy is called Golab, incendiarism and burning, the archdemon is Asmodeus. From D5 came D6, the evil beauty, the hierarchy is called To'argani. I fucked that up. The Wranglers, the archdemon is Belfior. From D6 came D7, the evil victory, the hierarchy is called Harab. Sirap, the dispensing raven, the archdemon is Baal Chanan. From D7 came D8, the evil glory, the hierarchy is called Samael, the embroiler, the archdemon is Artemek. Something like that. From D8 came D9, the evil foundation, the hierarchy is called Gamaliel, the obscene, the archdemon is Lilith. Lilith isn't a demon. From D9 came D10, the evil kingdom, the hierarchy is called Nazmoth, the impure, the archdemon is Nahurnia. The Kabbalists declare the world's intelligences and hierarchies were established according to the vision of Ezekiel. By the man of Ezekiel's vision is symbolized the world of Atziath, by the throne, the world Bria, by the firmament, the world of Yitzra'ah, and by the living creatures, the world of Asiya. These spheres are the wheels within wheels of the prophet. The Kabbalists never established a human figure in each of the four worlds. A1 was the head and A10 the feet of the man of Atzuluth. B1 was the head and B10 the feet of the man of Bria. C1 was the head and C10 the feet of the man Yitzra'ah. D1 was the head and D10 the feet of the man Asiya. These four are called the world men. They considered androgynous and are the prototypes of humanity. The human body, like that of the universe, is considered to be material expression in 10 globes or spheres of light. Therefore, man is called the microcosm, the little world, built in the image of the great world, of which was his head at A1 and his feet at D10. This is probably the secret significance of the great figure of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. With its head in the world of Atzuluth, its arms and hands in the world of Bria, its generative system in the world of Yitzra'ah, and its legs and feet in the world of Asiya. This is the grand man of the Zohar, of whom Apicius Levi writes, quote, "It is not less astonishing to observe at the beginning of the Zohar the profundity of its notions and the sublime simplicity of its images. It is said as follows: the science of equilibrium is the key of occult science. Unbalanced forces perish in the void. So pass the kings of the elder world, the princes of the giants. They have fallen like trees without roots, and their place is found no more. Through the conflict of unbalanced forces, the devastated earth was void and formless, until the Spirit of God made for itself a place in heaven and reduced the mass of waters. All the aspirations in nature were directed then towards unity of form. towards the living synthesis of equilibrated forces. The face of God, crowned with light, rose over the vast sea and was reflected in the waters thereof. His two eyes were manifested, radiating with the splendor, darting two beams of light which cross with those of the reflection. The brow of God and his eyes formed a triangle in heaven, and its reflection formed a second triangle in the waters. So was revealed in number 6, being that of universal creation. The text, which would be unintelligible in a literal version, is translated here by a way of interpretation. The author makes it plain that the human form which he ascribes to deity is only an image of his meaning, and that God is beyond expression by human thought or representation by any figure. Pascal said that God is a circle, of which the center is everywhere and the circumference nowhere. But how is one to image a circle apart from its circumference? The Zohar adopts the antithesis of this paradoxical image, and in respect of the circle of Pascal, would say rather that the circumference is everywhere, while that which is nowhere is the center. It is, however, to a balance and not a circle that compares the universal equilibrium of things. It affirms the equilibrium is everywhere, and so also the central point, where the balance hangs in suspension. We find that the Zohar is thus more forcible and more profound than Pascal. The Zohar is a genesis of light. The Sifra Yisrael is a ladder of truth. Therein expounded the 32 absolute symbols of speech, being numbers and letters. Each letter produces a number, an idea, and a form, so that mathematics are capable and applicable to forms and ideas, even as numbers in virtue of an exact proportion and a perfect correspondence. By the science of the Sifra Yisrael, the human mind is rooted in truth and in reason. It accounts for all progress possible to intelligence by means of evolution of numbers. Thus does the Zohar represent absolute truth, while the Sifra Yisrael furnishes the method of its acquisition, its discernment, and application. Placing man himself on the point D10, his true constitution is revealed. He exists upon 4 worlds, only one of which is visible. It is then made evident that his parts and members upon the material plane are, by analogy, hierarchies and intelligences in higher worlds. Here again, the law of interpretation is evidenced. Although within man is the entire universe, the 43 spheres interpenetrating D10. He is ignorant of the existence because he cannot exercise control over that which is superior to or greater than himself. Nevertheless, all these higher spheres exercise control over him, as his functions and activities demonstrate. If they did not, he would be an inert mass of substance. Death is merely the result of deflecting the life impulses of the higher ring away from the lower body. The control of the substantial rings over their own material and reflection is called life. And the spirit of man is, in reality, a name given to this great host of intelligences, which are focused upon substance through a point called the ego, established in the midst of themselves. X1 is the outside boundary of the human auric egg, and the entire diagram becomes a cross-section of the constitution of man, or a cross-section of the cosmic constitution, if correlated with the universe. By the secret culture of the Qabbalistic school, man is taught how to climb the rings, unfold his unconsciousness, until at last he returns to the Ein Sof. The process by which this accomplished is called the 50 gates of light. Kirchner, the Jesuit Kabbalist, declares that Moses passed through 49 of the gates, but that Christ alone passed the 50th gate. To the 3rd edition of the Sifra Yisrael, translated from the Hebrew by Win Westcott, are appended the 50 gates of intelligence emanating from Binah, the 2nd Sifra. The source of this information is Kirchner's Oedipus Aegypticus. The gates are divided into 6 orders, of which the first 4 have each 10 subdivisions, the 5th 9, and the 6th only 1. The first order of the gates is termed elementary, and its divisions are as follows: 1, chaos, hell, the first matter, formless, void, lifeless, that's the second. 3rd, the abyss, 4, origin of the elements. 5, earth, no seed germs. 6, water. 7, air. 8, fire. 9, differentiation of qualities. 10, mixture and combination. The second order of gates is termed decad of evolution, and his divisions are as follows: 11, minerals differentiate. 12, vegetable principles appear. 13, seeds germinate in moisture. 14, herbs and trees. 15, fructification in vegetable life. 16, origin of low forms of animal life. 17, insects and reptiles appear. 18, fishes, vertebrate life in the waters. 19, birds, vertebrate life in the air. 20, quadrupeds, vertebrate earth animals. The third order of gates is termed decad of humanity, and its divisions are as follows: 21, appearance of man. 22, material human body. 23, human soul conferred. 24, mystery of Adam and Eve. 25, complete man as the microcosm. 26, gift of 5 human faces acting exteriorly. 27, gift of the 5 powers to the soul. 28, Adam Kadmon, the heavenly man. 29, angelic beings. 30, man in the image of God. The fourth order of gates is termed world of spheres, and its divisions are as follows: 31, the heaven of the moon. 32, the heaven of Mercury. 33, heaven of Venus. 34, heaven of the sun. 35, heaven of Mars. 36, heaven of Jupiter. 37, heaven of Saturn. 38, the firmament. 39, pre-mobile. 40, the Empyrean heaven. The fifth order of gates is termed the angelic world, and its divisions are as follows: 41, Ishim, sons of fire. 42, Oraphim, cherubim. 43, Aralim, thrones. 44, Sheshmalim, dominions. 45, Seraphim, virtues. 46, Malchim, powers. 47, Elohim, principalities. 48, Ben Elohim, angels. 49, cherubim, archangels. The order of the angels is a matter of controversy, the arrangement above differing from the accepted in other sections of this volume. The rabbis disagree fundamentally as the proper sequence of the angelic names. The sixth order is termed the archetype and consists of one gate. 50, God, Ein Sof. He whom no mortal eye hath seen. The 50th gate leads from creation into the creative principle, and he who passes through it returns into the unlimited, undifferentiated condition of all. The 50 gates reveal a certain evolutionary process, and it was declared by the rabbins that he who would obtain to the highest degree of understanding must pass subsequently through all of these orders of life, each of which constituted a gate, in that the spirit, passing from the lower to the higher, found in each more responsive organism new avenues of self-expression. Next time is the tree of Sitharoth. But that concludes today's reading of the Secret Teachings of All Ages. We're getting there. Again, a very big book. Very interesting. And within those things, I say there's a portion of truth in there, and there's a portion of other things in there that might not be. We don't know. This is the thing. We really don't know. And until we pass on or ascend, whatever means of that we chose for ourselves. Only that will tell us the real absolute of everything. But even when we do ascend, it takes a long time to acquire those answers. So many of us will be holding our breaths, but we can only make assumptions and only read to expand. So hopefully by the end of the month, early October, I pick a platform to open my store so I can start selling these fun little designs and creations I'm making. I'm also trying to make candles. See, ring holder. I'm trying different things as a multifaceted artist. So look out for that if you're interested. Just trying. I'll know more on Saturday. I have to talk to my spirit guides through a medium because I don't know if I'm being like held back. I don't know if divine timing's at working. I don't know what goes on. I put my energy out there and the manifestation didn't happen at all for me getting a job. And I just don't know what direction to take. Because obviously this isn't getting me too far fast. Not to say that I am here to grift, but I have to make some kind of living. And that is something where, you know, some people would say, oh, well, you're disabled. You can go on disability. I can work. So therefore I will until the day that I can't. It's just a matter of breaking a cycle and moving on up in life instead of having to keep at baseline all the time. So we'll see. Sending each and every one of you love, light, protection, and shielding. Please be safe, be seen. Please be weather aware. I hope all of you have a good rest of your week. Please don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. It helps me. It gets the algorithm out. It gets more people onto the channel. Excuse me, guys. I'm like having like a funky body day kind of deal. So sorry. And also the projection of some of these words. Again, dyslexic and projection problems. Overcoming it all. So guys, please enjoy, and I hope to see you on the next one.